Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alhadi, and in this occasion, I will try to explain about skill 10, which is track number 18. So, without any further ado, let us begin. Now, let us start with number 1. In number 1, we can see a picture of a tree, and in the audio, we can also hear a woman talking about a cocoa tree. So from that, we can conclude that the answer for number 1 is cocoa tree. Okay, now let us move on to number 2. As we can see that there is a picture of a dark cocoa fruit, and we can assume that this is a picture of a cocoa fruit that is already ripe. And in the audio, we can also hear that the woman talks about the ripe cocoa fruit. So from that, we can assume that the answer for number 2 is a ripe cocoa fruit or ripe fruit. Now let us move on to number 3. In number 3, we can see that there is a picture of a cocoa fruit that has been sliced into half, and we can see the seeds inside. And from the audio, the lady also talks about cocoa seeds that is inside a cocoa fruit. So from that, we can assume that the answer for number 3 is seeds. Now, let us move on to number 4. In number 4, we can see there is a picture of a barrel or a vat. So in the audio, we can also hear the lady talks about cocoa fermentation on a vat. So from that, we can assume that the answer for number 4 is vat. Okay, now let us move on to number 5. In number 5, we can see a picture of seeds that are being dried under the sun, and the seeds are placed on top of a tray. So from that, we can answer number 5, tray. Now, on to number 6. There is a picture of a truck that is heading towards a factory. So from the audio, we can hear the lady talks about the cocoa beans that are shipped off to the chocolate factory. So according to that audio, we can definitely know the answer for number 6, which is chocolate factory. Now let us continue to number 7 to 12. But before that, let us summarize some of the statement from the audio that the lady says. So in the audio, the lady says that the farmer harvests the ripe fruit of a cocoa tree and then cuts it open to remove the seeds, which can also be called the beans. And the beans are fermented in a large vat for about a week, and after that the beans are placed in the sun to dry and shipped off to the chocolate factory to make delicious chocolate treats. Now from this statement, we can know all the answer for number 7 to 12. So let us begin to number 7. And number 7, when the fruit is ripe, it is harvested. How can we know that? Because from the statement earlier, the farmer harvests the ripe fruit. So the answer for number 7 is it is harvested. And continue to number 8, then the seeds are removed. So why do we answer removed? Because also from the statement said that the farmer cuts the chocolate fruit and remove the seeds, and which are also called the beans. And continue to number 9 is the cocoa beans are fermented in vats for blank. So for number 9, we decided to answer it about a week because it is the lady also states the answer in the audio. Continue to number 10. The beans blank in the sun. So from the statement, we know that the beans are dried in the sun. And continue to number 11. The cocoa beans blank the factory. Now this one is a little bit complicated, but we decided to answer are shipped to. It is a little bit complicated because the lady says that the cocoa beans are shipped off to, as we know that it is exceeded the limit. The limit is no more than 3 words. So we go with this answer. Are shipped to. Continue to number 12. At the factory, the cocoa beans are turned into. Now, also from the summary, we know that the chocolate beans are shipped to the factory in order to make delicious chocolate treats. And I think that is all the explanation from me, which is about skill 10. Thank you so much for your attention.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Yusra Handesca Tanjung. Now, in this occasion, I would like to talk about the track 19, skill 11. The first class passenger and economy class passenger. For the first class passenger, average pillow and blanket, full meals and free movie. And for economy class passenger, there are snacks, magazine, and they have to bring their own DVD if they want to watch movies. So the answer is A, C, and D. Number 2, there are conversation between man and woman. Man, do you want to watch a movie tonight? There is a great film in the Royal Theatre. Woman, the Royal Theatre? I never like movies there. They only show like horror and war movies. Man, so what kind of movie do you like? Woman, oh, romantic movie and classic movie, like the one that shows in deluxe theater. So the answer is horror and romantic. For number 3, describe it. Although butterfly and moth look very similar, they aren't exactly alike. There are several ways to tell the difference between them. The most well-known the difference that butterfly fly in the day and the moth is the night flyer. Additionally, when butterfly rest, they fold their wings back. Moth fold their wings in horizontal position. The antenna butterfly has thin antenna and moth often has feathery antenna. Okay, the script that I got from the track 19. Number 4. I have much to do to get ready for the party. I have to clean the house and cook. The shopping has been done and I love plant decoration too. The man asks the woman, when did you mail the invitation? And the woman answered, mail invitation? I guess I'm better to do that today. So the answer is C and D. Number 5. The script that I got from the track 19, skill 11. Trees from landscaping your garden can be divided into 3 categories. Some trees we plant to add beauty to the yard. They are chosen for their beautiful flowers or interesting leaves. They are the ornamental trees. If you live in a sunny location, then you probably want to plant some shade trees. Finally, we have the evergreens. Evergreen Finally, we have the evergreens. Every garden should have at least one to provide a bit of green year-round. Most evergreens are cane-bearing trees with needles instead of leaves. So the answer for number 5, A is ornamental trees, B shade trees, and C evergreens.
Hello everyone, my name is Syamsu Dhuha, and right now I'm gonna continue with skill 12. So in the skill 12, it is stated that complete the chart below based on what you hear, and then put a check mark to show if these items are alike or different. So for question number 1, our answers are C and E for alike. Why? Because the man said that his responsibility doesn't differ that much, and also his transportation, uh, or should I say he uses bus, whether it is his old office or his new office. And then the rest are different: salary, schedule, and also location. He got more salary, the schedule is a bit more harder, and also the location is a bit further than his old office. Okay, question number 2. Our answers are A and E for alike, and B, C, D are different. We can hear that she said that the location of the library is still the same, and then the services are the same as the old library before it is renovated. And then the size, the parking facilities, and the numbers of books change because the building have a lot more floors. The parking facilities, there are an underground parking facilities, and the number of books uh, is rocketed, and the number of books change. I can say they put more, and the number of books change. I can say that they put a lot more books because they have a bigger, more space. Okay, for question number 3, our answers that are alike are B and C. The use of club facilities and the access to fitness classes. As for A, D, and E are different. Why? Because the cost of the associate. And as for A, D, and E are different. First, the cost. The cost between two regimes are different. Second, the locker room privileges. The full membership one, they will get their own locker room privileges. As for the associate member, they will not. And then the individual fitness plan. The full membership also will get the individual fitness plan, but if the associate member wanted it as well, they will pay extra for that. Okay, now question number 4, which is the last one. We choose A and E for, I think it's the same or alike, and then B, C, D are different. Why? First, place for babies to live. Toads and frogs, babies live underwater. And then how do they make their sounds? They have this type of lungs. They make sounds from that, which frogs and toads make sounds from that lungs. And then the places for adults to live, frogs and toads have different places. And then type of skins. It is stated that toads are a bit bumpy and frogs are a bit slimy and soft. And then the shape of it is toads are a bit plumper and a bit wider. It is stated there. I think that's it for my part. I will let it. I think that is dah. I think that is for my part, and the next part will be explained by my other teammates. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rizkiawan, and right now I will explain to you about section 2 exam practice about staying safe. Check this out. Okay, we start with track 49 and question number 1 until 4. There are two tables there. The first table is about region, and then the second table is about type of crime. Okay, we start with the first table because on track 49 the speaker explained to us about the region that a student always went there, and the speaker says that I'll start with India, so the answer must be India for the first table. On track 49 the speakers say generally India isn't a dangerous place for individual, but they have been an increasing in handbag thief on recent year. So the answer for the second table is handbag thief. And the third table, the answer must be Latin America, because the speaker says on track 49 that let's look at Latin America. So for the last table, the answer is gun crime. Why? Because the speaker says on track 49, it seems like the gun crime is the serious problem throughout. Okay, we move to question number 5 until 7. The first question is, what are tourists advised not to wear in the street? From track 50, we know that the speaker says they follow advice from the authorities, like making sure they didn't wearing expensive jewelry on the street. So the answer number 1 is expensive jewelry. And for the second question, or number 6, the answer is not to go on the lonely places at night. So the answer is lonely places. And for question number 7, in some parts of Latin America, where do thieves often take money from tourists? The answer is sometimes you find the thieves that very close to people on the cash machine and take their money as it comes out. So the answer is cash machine. And for question number 8 until 10, the first question, or number 8, is what did the travel advisor think about India? The answer is I didn't have any feeling that it was dangerous as it thought. So the answer is it was safe, because safe is the antonym from dangerous. For number 9, why does the speaker recommend going to India with a tour group? From track 51, we know that the speaker says it is the best way to go because it is so much safer. So the answer is because it is less risky. And the last question is, What did the tour guide tell the tourists not to do? The answer, based on the track 51, is she warned us to go with stranger even though they seems nice and friendly. So the answer is not to go with people they don't know. And thank you so much for your attention. See you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm going to explain the saying subsections, part 2, skills development. And the first question is in track 46, what is the most common crime in the UK? So the answer is theft. Before, the speaker is also asked to the listener that do they know the most common crime, and she answers it directly that the answer is theft. And the second question is what two forms of the theft does the policeman mention, and the answer is robbery and burglary, because the speaker is mentioned it one by one. So the robbery is when someone stole your handbag in the street, and the burglary is when someone broke into your house. Number 3 is why are people in more danger when they are abroad? So the speaker said that because they probably don't know the country very well, and she also gives the example that they might not know or realize that they are in dangerous area. Number 4, what should people leave in the hotel? So the answer is passport and money, and she said that those two things are one of the ways to protect yourself in people's country. So number 5, what kind of mobile is popular among thieves? And the answer is smartphone, because she mentions that when you go abroad, you should just use your old mobile because smartphone is really popular among thieves, and it is more safety to bring your old mobile. Next to track 47. So the UK emergency numbers is 999 because the speaker is British, so she must from England or UK, so the emergency number of UK is 999. In the audio, the emergency number for USA is 911. She also mentions that when you go to USA, you can use that number when something danger happened to you. Third one is emergency number in Australia. So she mentions that emergency number in Australia is completely different than USA and UK, and the emergency number for Australia is 000. Number 4 is emergency number in Germany. It is 112, and that number is same for the other countries in Europe. She mentions that. Number 5, and she also mentioned that when you go to India, you can use that number. The emergency number for India is 100. Now we come to track 48. So the first question is, when can student ask a security officer to walk home with them? And the answer is C, late at night, because it is also mentioned in the audio, and the audio also mentioned about one of the services that campus provided for the students is walking home with the security officer when you go home from campus late at night. The second question is, what does the security officer say students should do if they want to go home late at night and they feel nervous? So the answer is A, they should ring campus security. So the security officer mentioned in the audio that you should call 333 or ring 3333, and that's for the campus security number, and they will send someone to walk with you to home. Question number 3. What does the security officer say about national and campus emergency number? The answer is C, they are not the same. And in the audio, it is mentioned that national emergency number is 999 and the campus emergency number is 3333. So they are completely different. Number 4 is, why should students call 3333 in an emergency on campus? And the answer is C, it is faster. It is mentioned in the audio that when you got something danger in campus, you should just call 3333 because it will react to it quickly than the national emergency service.